Yeah, we. Good morning, No Maniacs. Welcome in. Thank you guys for showing up. Joseph Archer, AC Adam, J2K, Where Goes One, Oliver Chapman. Who else is in there that I can see? Well, welcome all you guys, man. Hey, listen, I'm gonna start this show off a little bit different than what we normally do, man, because a bunch of the fan base are clamoring for Caleb Williams and the whole thing behind that. And for me, I've been watching and studying him for over a year, and I've seen red flags. Now I keep seeing red flags. Something happened last night after the game against who was it, Kansas State. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, let me put my I am a mental health professional, have been one for most of my adult life. I've also been mentoring for most of my adult life. And I'm gonna use this hat on for a second. With all sensibilities to people, there's a stigma going around about males not being able to show their emotions. I'm 100% against that. I think everybody ought to be able to show all full range of emotions and not feel insecure about doing that. I'm 100% with that. But there's a line, especially when it comes to this game. And to me, you have to have a certain amount of mental steel reserve inside you to play this game and play it at a high level. Not only that, on the field, but off the field. Off the field, in a few months from now, people are going to be poking, prodding, pushing his buttons, and testing and seeing what kind of character he has. Football character was already at question. I don't think what we're about to talk about now is football character. I think this is about emotional maturity, and you need to have a certain level of that to play this at a high level. He's only got a few months before all of that stuff will be tested. And so when I saw Caleb Williams go to, I've cried. I've cried after a game a tough game and collapsed our season. And I cried in the locker room, man. And that's the place for it. And it was tears of just frustration with myself, upset with my teammates. And I was just mad, all around mad altogether. I didn't see that when I seen Caleb Williams run to the stands, jump up in the stands and lean on his mom, lay onto his mom and cry like a baby. I was just like, I wish that I didn't see that. And that made me question him even more. It's like there's one thing to go out there, with painted fingernails and do all that thing. You want to be different, fine. I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with that. You never heard me say a word about that much. But to do that, and you can't do that and go crying to your mother. No, man, that's not good, man. Something's missing there with that young man. And I see several reasons why I'd be there's red flags for me, Brian. I don't know about you, but I don't know if I would feel good about that guy leading my team.
Yeah, because I mean, especially at the quarterback position, right or wrong, you're handed the leadership because I mean, the rest of the team, you're, like big brother. And if I would have did that, And I'm not trying to belittle, be judgmental, or whatever. And I realize I come from a little bit of a different era. If I would have ran off the field in whatever sport I was and went to my mom and start crying, she would have shoved me away because there's a time for that, not in front of God and everybody. Like I told you, if he would have went to the locker room and cried, or tears was rolling down his face while he's leaving the field, that would have been one thing. But that action last night, that tells me he's immature. Usually,
Most
when you run to your mom, it's because hey, it's hit the fan. Not, I don't. Like I said, it's. I'm probably the worst person to talk to on this type of subject, but yeah, more than one red flag went up for me.
so go ahead, kids.
Yeah. What's up, no maniacs? Torian Whitfield, you're in the building as usual. Um, J2K, I saw what you just noted, and Leo Factor, happy to see you back. Jay Sanders, you too. Um, I don't I don't know Caleb Williams. I don't watch college football. I'll say those two things out loud, and I'll focus on the first part of it more than anything else. I don't know the young man to judge him. Maybe he is immature. He's a young man. It might be to be expected. Do should he have maybe reserved his emotional outbursts for when he was in the locker room and away from the prying eyes of the world? Perhaps, but at the same time, that does show a love of the game. It does show that and this is a regular season game, so it's I can fault him for that, or I can sort of applaud him for it at the same time. If he loves a regular season game and the competition that much, maybe that's admirable. At the same time, maybe he's a crybaby. I can't judge Caleb Williams at this present time, and I won't, because once more I might be forced to take a much deeper look into Caleb Williams in a couple of months, and if I like what I see, which I very likely might on the football field, his emotional situation, like I don't know if something else caused that, right? Like that's where this whole conversation goes a little bit sideways. Maybe his dog died. Maybe
No, he won't cuddle the dog.
like who knows what what he might be going through psychologically outside of football, and to come out a loser in that game. Who knows, man? I
All
can't.
right.
Can't
I'll,
judge.
I'll ask you this, Kez. Would it have been all right if the whole team would have ran to the sideline and start crying?
You know what?
They all.
I've seen
You
it.
know what? If the entire team in solidarity came together and had a cry on the
That's
field,
different.
I also probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have faulted him or the entire team. But like,
That's
regardless, I can't. Here's what I will say towards what Nomad is saying. The Chicago Bears and the Chicago media is a monster, and it's been known to chew up players and spit them out, and you have to have a little bit of resolve to lead this particular team in this particular city. That
wouldn't fly in New York either.
I'm not here to judge his resolve, but I like Justin Fields' resolve. Like in tough situations, he's pretty steely. He has that that professionalism to go back in there and continue fighting without really showing his emotions. You don't see him have emotional outbursts really in public. I like that about Justin. I would hope to think that our next quarterback would hold some of those values as well.
Well,
If we move away.
J2K, I'm gonna respond to what you said. He called it character assassination. I'm gonna respond to what you said this way. I'm okay with you having an opinion, but to reach all the way to character assassination, it's just my choice to broach the conversation with the way I see it. And I'm not saying it with no sensitivity. I'm saying it because to me it's a matter of like to me, two things were missing in that situation. Two things, and it was real easy. Teammates. They see him over there doing that. If I'm his teammate, I see that happening, I'm pulling them down. No. Say that for the locker room, bro. Come on, you're going in the locker room. You're not gonna do that out here in front of people. Two, Pop should have pushed him down.
Yes.
Pop should have been like, hey man, no. That's where get down. Go be with your teammates, man. No. And mommy would have been probably mad. No, that's my baby. And you know how mothers are with their kids, especially their sons. And all that stuff would have happened, but that was a dad moment. No, man. You too big for this. Get down and go be with your teammates. If you're upset, go be with your teammates and be upset inside with them. This ain't you're too big for this. That's what I saw. And I don't mean to pick apart the guy, but I know for a fact that when he comes to, like Ked said, when you get to Chicago, man, it's a meat grinder, man. You got to be tougher than that, man. They'll take you through it. Any major media market, I'm not saying Caleb is going to be here, but if by chance that he ended up in Chicago, you got a lot of growing up to do, guy, in a small amount of time. And that's not a character assassination. That's just me and my observation and my take on what I saw. Like I said, I am a mental health professional, so I am sensitive to stuff like that. I'm also a mentor. And so it wasn't like I just decided willy-nilly, I'm going to bash Caleb Williams. That wasn't the mindset. No, I just broached the conversation because if by chance that he ends up in Chicago, that's something you need to look at, man. That's something you need to look at. You guys, you're asking a guy to lead your team, and something like that is considerable, in my opinion.
How old is he? Do you know?
I would guess about 22, 23.
21.
21. Okay, even young.
Honestly, the emotional intelligence of a 21-year-old man in today's world is probably a lot less than the emotional intelligence of 21-year-olds we're used to. COVID affected these kids, and they were, we were all forced to sit in a room for the most part in your house for an extended period of time. I'm not sure. I don't believe their emotional intelligence. Sorry, I believe their emotional intelligence is lesser because of that, and I'm saying that about a generation of kids. It's hard out there now for them to just manage publicly, especially with all these bloody cameras everywhere. Right? There's cameras everywhere, but realistically, he should know he's on TV and everybody's watching this situation. But at the same time, I don't know what else is going on in his life. Maybe there's something else that he was emotional like that maybe his girlfriend broke up with him. You know what I'm saying? Like as human beings, emotions can run high when other things are affecting us. Who knows, man? I can't judge a kid about it, man.
Hey, man, I told you, like I said, I was reluctant to do it. J2K is upset with me because he says, Nomad, you clearly have said you're not a Caleb Williams. This seems par for the course. I think I can take how I feel about him being a quarterback for this team and being a Caleb Williams fan, lump it all into one if I wanted to. This is not that. This is me observation. This is my observation of the kind of things I've seen with this guy. And Leo Factor said something to me earlier about, what other things that I see that kind of turns me off and a red flag to me. And the biggest one is, how he responds to his teammates, how his teammates respond to him, how he's always barking and biting at the coaching staff when something isn't right. All that stuff comes into a factor when you put that guy on your team as your team leader. He's going to be the face of your franchise. if you want to consider that me picking on him because you think I'm not a Caleb Williams fan, by all means, have your opinion. I'm all right with that. But I'm telling you, as a former football player, I see certain things going on, and it just for me, it just my antennas just go up. My antennas go up. I'm like, I know he's a young guy, but man, some of this stuff, like even in Pee Wee football, man, we had crushing losses. Man, I never went and cried to my mom. I was different, but I never went and cried to my mom. Like stuff like that when I was growing up, man, I get your butt kicked all day and every day in school for a long time to come.
Beatings.
Right. You just have to be tougher than that. And I mean the emotional toughness and the mental toughness, all of it is a factor when you're asking a guy to go lead a franchise against 60, 70,000 screaming fans and the media that's out to get you in the first place and want to see you, trip up and fail. You got to be mentally tougher than that. And that's just where my energy is, man. But I'll let you guys go one more time with that before we get to some game stuff before we get out of here.
Well, another issue that I have with that, a couple of weeks ago, whether it's a fabricated story or he was just joking or not, whoever drafts him, he wants to be part owner. I mean, that's silly. You go from that when you're riding a wave on a high, and then when things don't go your way, you go running to mommy. Not only that, but you don't care that the cameras are on. To me, I don't know if he's immature is probably the best way to say it. I don't want to say spoiled or anything like that, but I mean, that's just whatever team gets him, be prepared for somebody that it's me first and then the team.
I am going to ask one question. When does a young man like this, this is trial by fire. You know what I'm saying? You're going out there every day and you're trying to win. When does a young man like this get to make these mistakes and learn from them? This is basically his opportunity to do that before he goes professional. When else is he supposed to have these mishaps, do this dumb stuff to say, okay, well, maybe I can't be part owner. Maybe nobody will give me that opportunity. But you know what? If I don't float the idea, I don't know. Real talk, it's an idea to float out there. If somebody takes the bait, you win. I'm being facetious about that, but I'm really talking about the emotional stuff. He has to learn that. This is his opportunity to do so, and I'm not going to fault him for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna end the conversation about him, man. J2K, please, can you watch your language? You can be upset and not like the commentary, man, but please watch your language, sir. But yeah, man, I really hated to even bring it up, man. But the possibility that he could come here warranted me to speak to it and speak my mind about it. And I'm good with everybody's feelings about it. You don't have to agree with me. I feel a certain way about it as a football player, and that's just me. That's my take on it. I'm all right with people disagreeing with that. That's just who I am. But let's get on to some football, man. To what this game is going to be about. Doing some study on the Saints pretty much all week. Did very little studying on us because I really think they're going to present a certain kind of problem for a rookie quarterback. And Braxton Jones coming back or not, I don't know how they're going to. I know he's healthy and he's playing. How they play him. I was just talking to the guys in the back about, I don't know how I feel about that with a rookie quarterback and him just getting back. I expect a little bit of rust. So I don't know if they're going to have him on a pitch count, Brian, or whether they plan on playing him the full game. I don't know, but that kind of worries me about this defense. And this defense of line really comes at you with Braxton Jones just now being back and being a little rusty.
Well, I mean, he had a neck injury, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That always scares me because, I mean, neck injuries, nothing is good about that. And Speed rushers, he seems to do all right. It's more the power rusher because no base. Um, I guess if they put him on a pitch count, I mean, if he's back fully healthy, uh, I'm happy. He's a little bit better than Bourne to me against certain defenses. But like you said, that rust, of course, he got just about every snap last year. So he's not really like a second year. He is a second year player, but he don't have second year player experience because he played so many games last year too. Wish him the best of luck.
Who's he going to be lining up against? Cam Jordan?
Carl Granderson most of the game. And he is ascending. When I say ascending, kids, I mean he's tearing it up out there. And it's you know what, kids, it's not so much one guy. They see, this is why I love the Saints version of the 4-3 because you never know what you're going to get. They play a much different version of the 4-3 than we do. And I spoke to that before. Mm-hmm. They attack up and play man-to-man a whole lot more than they'll play zone. But and why it's particularly dangerous for offensive line right now like this and Tyson Bagent is because they run so many games and stunts and twists and different things to get after the quarterback. And with Braxton being, a little bit rusty, man, it's going to be like, thrusting him into a full-born. I mean, it's going to be a fire out there, man. So that worries me, man. Carl Granderson is a big part of what they do, and he'll see that guy most of the time, but he'll see a bunch of different guys at different points of the game.
Well, I'm glad to see him back. I was really pulling for Larry Bourne in that position. I was really hoping Larry was going to show us some new stuff. He did well for a couple of games, and then he started to go back to old Larry Bourne form. And you know what? I'm not going to fully place all the blame on Larry. I'm sure there's some coaching issues there too. So again, I do like him still as our swing tackle in that respect, and I'm happy to see Braxton back. I think our offensive line actually has a little bit of an opportunity today to really get the run going. If we can start things out really once more, focusing on that run, I'd like to think that we might be able to do a little bit of damage against this Saints squad. We'll have to see, but focusing on Braxton, I think we might see a little bit of rust, especially with the new kid in town.
No question. Hey, let me hit the inactives, and you guys can tell me if any of this surprises you or bothers you that we're missing a certain guy. But D-Rob, number one, is a healthy scratch again. Brisker is out. Nate Davis is out. Tremaine Edmonds is out. Terrell Smith is out. And Justin Fields is out. Anybody in particular you want to speak to not being dressing for the game or being hurt?
The Don Rob. I don't know if that experiment is about over or not.
Yeah.
Well, he's we touched on this a little bit before the show. He's a 5th round pick, guys. Braxton Jones, a 5th round pick, I believe, as well. Mm. We lined him up. He held it down, and we're looking to see him return today, right? Unfortunately, in this case scenario, in both case scenarios, they're developmental prospects, right? One did develop, and one is ascending. And in Don Rob's case, I think a little bit of work is yet to be done to really get him to where we hope he gets. More importantly, Montez Sweat debuts.
There you go.
Right. I mean, for Don Rob, I hate it for him, but it's clear to me that he needs more development. I think that's what this is all about, scratching him and getting back to the drawing board with him, seeing if we can help him get a breakthrough. I don't know, how they're coaching him, what kind of techniques they're asking him to use, if they're trying to put too much on him, if he's just not I don't know, whatever it is. I just know this. At some point, an athlete that good, he's a really, really high level athlete. Eventually, he is gonna make a breakthrough, whether it's here or whether it's elsewhere. I prefer that it happened here, but at some point that guy is he's gonna break through that he's gonna break through that ceiling, man. And when he does, I think he's just getting his tools together. And right now, I agree with him with not playing him. I think you can get more production out of Kareem, and you're definitely going to get more production out of Montez Sweat. But right now, I think you go back to the drawing board with Dominique Robinson and see if you can, during the season, if you can work some stuff out of him. And then once the season ends and you're looking at the roster again, then you want to go back to the thought of, okay, are we spending enough time with him, or have we spent too much time with him? And do we need to make a move and go in another direction? To me, that's where it's at.
I got a quick question for you, Nomad. Do you think that if Chicago put Don Robb on the practice squad, that another team would pick him up, seeing what?
Oh, no question. He'll be gone.
Okay.
He'll be gone.
I agree with that one. He is too good of an athlete, to be honest with you. It would be cool to see them like transform him into something else. It would that would really speak wonders for this coaching staff. Like let's just put these things out there. It would speak wonders if they were able to take an athletic prospect like Dominique Robinson and maybe put him out on as a wide receiver. And I'm saying something a little bit crazy to some folks who understand that he is a defensive end, but he used to be a wide receiver, y'all. That's actually what he played first. Wait a second. He might have also played quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely played. He played more quarterback than he played.
He played quarterback, wide receiver, and then went from wide receiver to DE because he wasn't getting reps at either of the other positions. Chase Young had left, and he started playing. I think it's a cool story for the kid across the board, but they could do something creative with that athletic, with that guy. I think they could if they had the coaches to do it.
Well, Rashawn Johnson used to play quarterback too. So if you had those two and who's ever quarterbacking, like in the red zone, come up with
That'd be interesting. Yeah. I mean that would be interesting. Maybe in a Tyson Hill kind of. Well, we're about to play these guys, aren't we? Like, let's hope we don't see any Taysom Hill today. But yeah, they could. I know we will. You know we will. He's gonna pull some. Bears gonna make him look like a superstar today. But they could possibly use Dominique Robinson in a similar manner if he has those chops. A is a QB. B potentially as a wide receiver. He's fast. He's got some speed. Mm-hmm. Maybe as a tight end, right? He's got the size. It'd be really interesting.
I think he's a pure defensive player. And before we move on to the next subject, someone asked, would they? No, they would never put him on. There's a reason he hasn't hit the practice squad, man. They vacuum him up. Athlete that dynamic, they vacuum him up so fast, man. But it's a reason why they're keeping him on the active roster. They put him on the practice squad, he's gone. But let's get to the some of the dynamics of the game that stick out to me. I think the Saints have been getting a lot of flack. Derek Carr's been getting a lot of flack, and it's because, in my opinion, the defense has played great for pretty much the whole season, man. They don't really give up a lot of points. They don't give up a lot on the ground. The defense has done its part. The offense has struggled, mainly due to the fact that Alvin Kamara hadn't been there for the first part of the season because of his legal woes, and the fact that they just put Derek Carr in the system. And I think your average fan would expect a quarterback that good, because I think David Carr is really good. Not David Carr. Derek Carr is really good. I think anytime you remove a guy from a system he's been accustomed to for a long time, and you put him in a brand new system, just like anybody else, it's going to take time for you to get acclimated to what they're asking you to do, the receivers to get acclimated to you, and you being acclimated to your weapons. Mm-hmm. And so all of that had to play out the first part of the season. And I was looking at the tape, last night, and I was just like, I see a team now that Kamara's back, and Derek Carr starting to feel his way and get a feel for his guys, I see a team that possibly could make a run and start ascending right now. And be honest with you, and I hate to even admit this, and it's the fact that they're playing the Bears, that might be kindling to the fire. And so that I just feel it's hard to be optimistic about this game with what I just saw on tape.
Yeah, getting Kamara back, that could be the missing link because he is a talent. And I mean, this is, Carr, like you said, getting used to the system and all like that. You're right. I mean, they could be an ascending team.
I think that they are. No, I to be honest with you, I think this is kind of their prove it game. It's light it up, ignite that fire underneath them. Now the Kamara is back.
Mm-hmm.
I like what they can do with Kamara and Taysom Hill. It takes a lot of pressure off of Derek Carr from being the superstar of that team, and he can just be a member of the team and or team leader. I like what they're doing there. Defense is playing well, but again, I think today for them, this is that ignition that they need to spark the flame to do bigger things in their division. My hopes here today is that we do the exact opposite and stop that. We need to prevent them from prevent that fire from being out. We need to play firefighter today. That's really what we need to do. Run that ball. And, I just hope Luke Getsy's got something up his sleeve for today. That's where I rest my hat.
I'll tell you why it's particularly scary to me on both sides of the ball. I'll start with the offense. They're so multiple. Olave, you have Taysom Hill, you've got Michael Thomas, and you've got Alvin Kamara. Man, that is that's a lot to deal with, man. And they know how to use every one of those guys. They're not like Luke Getsy and clueless about how to use the pieces that they have. They know how to use every last ounce of every last one of those guys' ability, and that's scary. And with your number one linebacker sitting, your number one strong safety sitting. What else we got going on here that I can point out? That we lucky to only have those main guys out on defense. It's gonna be tough to contain these guys, man. And if Flus comes out and plays like I hope he doesn't play, and not, he's got to be blitzing. He's got to be in man-to-man. If he comes out in zone, man, we're gonna be in trouble early, man. They'll just pick us apart. Just dump it down to the running backs, or have Taysom Hill run it and just destroy us. You know what I mean? But if he sits back in a zone early in the game, notice that at the beginning of the game. See if Flus sits back in a zone and tries to see what Montez Sweat is going to bring to the table, see if he can get home with 4. If he does too much of that early, it's going to get out of hand, man. He's going to have to blitz with or without Montez Sweat. He's going to have to make Derek Carr uncomfortable. So I think they're dangerous on offense. It's hard to have said that in the previous games because I think they just tore off into Indianapolis, I think, last week. But I'm worried about them starting to really click and catch fire and ascend right now. And I think for them, I think it's the perfect time and the perfect game.
Well, I mean, for their team, they can win that division so easily. And, I mean, there's their motivation too. I mean, Carolina, ain't got a chance. Atlanta, they're still trying to figure out what they want to do. So, I mean, New Orleans.
That's what all the pundits were saying earlier in the season, right? They were saying that New Orleans is likely going to be the guy to take that division.
Yeah.
And Atlanta hasn't clinched it yet. They're playing decent enough, minus the quarterback play, but
yeah,
I think they got Atlanta right after us. I think they're gonna beat up on poor Atlanta, man, because they got a quarterback issue going on. The next 2 games for them is a perfect case scenario for a team that wants to make a run and it's just now starting to put some things together, getting healthy and getting pieces back, man. It's just, I hate to sound like the pessimist when it comes to the team, but if we don't get absolute perfect pass protection, run the ball effectively, and keep Bajent from that is a man. Marshawn Lattimore on DJ Moore, Alante Taylor. Really, I loved him coming out of the draft, the rookie corner out of Tennessee. He is balling. He is balling. So they got two. I ain't gonna say Alante isn't shut down, but he's gonna be able to play well enough against a rookie quarterback to make some plays today. So it's just scary, man. I think we need to literally play ball control and just try to eat up clock and try to keep them off the board as much as we can, as much as possible. But if we get behind early and Tyson Bagent is forced to be back there throwing the ball like he was last week, we're cooked. They'll tear him apart, man.
Well, something else, Chicago's defense, anytime that you're able to get the offense third and long, they need to be able to, go for the juggler and, stop them. Because how many times you get 3rd and 12 and the quarterback throws a 15-yard pass? That sucks.
Yes.
Brian and kids, let me mention this to you. My guy, man, he played for the Patriots. I remember him telling me all the time, and they don't play the Patriots much, but when they had to play him, he hated playing. You know why? Because that stadium is problem. Dog, you're going to have to be on silent counts.
Yeah.
And the thing about this coaching staff, they know how to use the crowd. The players know how to hype the crowd and get them even louder. You're going to have to be on silent counts and hope you're not jumping up and down and having false starts and all that. That stadium itself is a problem. That place rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's from all that spicy food.
All that Creole gumbo, huh?
There you go.
All right, well, we gotta get ready to get out of here, man. The game is about to kick off right now. No maniacs, please do you guys a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and share this content, man. And help people get to boom this algorithm out. We love you guys. We'll see you guys at 8:00 tonight after everybody's done for Nomad at Night post game. But with that being said, I want to leave y'all guys with this: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Bear down, everyone.